Well, before violence broke out following his rally in Southern California last night, Donald Trump making it very clear to his supporters that for him, winning is not just everything, it is the only thing. Listen.
It's about winning. And we can't make... And we have to take care of our country. We can't make the changes if I don't win. He said, doesn't matter. He said, I will tell you this. If I don't win, as good as you say I have done, if I don't win, I will consider it a total and complete waste of time, energy, and money. I really mean it. Because we are on the verge of doing something that's really unprecedented. You know, they used to call it the silent majority. Now we'll call it the noisy majority because we're not going to take it anymore.
Joining us now, Elizabeth Harrington, a staff writer for the Washington Free Beacon, and Philip Bump. He is a writer for the Washington Post politics blog, The Fix. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, so what he just said, you guys heard it. Philip, I'll start with you. Does that raise a question in your mind about his motivation?
I mean, it sort of answers the question. I think everyone was sort of wondering why Donald Trump was running for president. You know, I mean, he's not incorrect in that it's very much, politics is very much a zero-sum game. If you don't win an election, you don't get that position. And really, that campaign has not achieved the outcome that you hoped for. But if you look at the other side, if you look at Bernie Sanders, who's almost certainly going to lose to Hillary Clinton, he is trying to use that to affect change within the party, to affect American politics, and to change how Hillary Clinton runs as a candidate. Essentially, what Donald Trump is saying is that's not important to him. The only thing that's important to him is him being elected president. And I think that that's sort of what everyone assumed was his motivation for getting into this.
Well, but no one really wants to associate with a loser, right, Elizabeth? I mean, we want to associate with a winner. The NFL draft, it was last night. The Los Angeles Rams, they picked the first pick. It was Jared Goff because they think that he can win for them. So that's what we want, right?
Sure, and I think that's what you're saying, why he's been able to, I think, kind of lock this nomination up. You only have Indiana left for the Cruz and Kasich, and I think that so-called deal between the two is really backfired for them, and it's going to hurt them. And so once Indiana happens, Trump really has this wrapped up because there is this growing sense of inevitability behind him, and voters want to back a winner, just like you said. So, I mean, once Indiana comes down, which I think it'll be for Trump, really, I think all these late deciders, which we saw on Tuesday as well, Trump outperformed the polls because the late deciders wanted to back a winner. So I think he's got this locked up, and then he'll be pivoting towards Hillary, and it'll be a wild ride after that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But, Philip, you know, perhaps this statement is an indicator of what's to come, because this isn't the first time that Trump has said this. Before Iowa, he said almost the exact same thing. He said, if I don't win, I've wasted my time because I won't be able to do anything. And then we know what followed Iowa. He came to a close second in Iowa, then won New Hampshire, won South Carolina. So he is right. He is winning.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely. You know, and I'm curious too when he made the comments last night if he meant the nomination, which it seems like he's going to win, or if he meant the general election, which it seems that's a lot more questionable. And I think that he has a lot more ability at this point to shape the Republican Party, to shape the Republican agenda, simply by virtue of the fact that he has won so consistently, won primary states, and done so well. I think, though, that when you look at a general election, it's going to be interesting to see how much he frames the Republican Party's agenda around the general election, assuming he's the nominee, over the long term. He certainly raised a lot of attention about things, weaknesses within the Republican Party now. But what I think he said last night is he's not committed over the long term to fixing those things.
Well, let's take a look at that. You know, moving on to the general election, if it doesn't mean Trump and Clinton, this Real Clear Politics polling average that we have for you shows Clinton leading 47.4% to Trump with 40.1%. So that's a, 7-point spread there between them. There was also another poll that came out. It was the George Washington University poll, which showed them only at 3% difference between the two. Clinton's still in the lead. As we move forward and as they start to debate, Elizabeth, what do you think will happen in terms of Trump? Do you think that he will be ruthless? I mean, he's been ruthless on the Republican side, and he's been in the lead.
Right. I think he's going to try to brand Hillary just as he's branded low-energy Jeb Bush and lying Ted Cruz throughout this primary. And so he's going to come at Hillary with everything. He's going to throw everything out there and see what sticks. And look, he's got a lot of ammunition because Hillary has been around a long time. She's got a lot of baggage. She's got the Clinton email server under FBI investigation. She's got already the voters see her as untrustworthy. And Trump will be the only Republican candidate that will be willing to bring up Bill Clinton's past history with women. So he's going to throw everything at her. He's going to see what sticks. He's going to try to brand her. And I think these polls, it's a long time between now and November, and you've already seen them sort of tightening up for a general election matchup between Hillary and Trump. So I think the polls are a little misleading that saw Trump trailing so much in the past couple of weeks. I think those are going to be close, and I think he really does have a chance against the conventional wisdom to beat Hillary in the general election.
Well, we will see what happens. Philip, have to wrap it up, but thank you for joining us. Elizabeth, thank you as well. We will see what happens. But first things first, on to Indiana.